Hello, this is Dale Ray, and I'm coming to you live from Houston, Texas. I want to thank y'all for joining me today, and we got a great show. First I want to thank our volunteers here at Gaining Ground for the selfless hours of their time and effort in helping others throughout the Humble and Houston, Texas area. And of course, they have been indispensable as far as compensating for the shortage of absence of paid professionals. And of course, here at Gaining Ground, our volunteers have also gained a level of expertise, and it does exceed that of any professional. We also realize that lasting personal and social change can only come about when we all work together. That's why strengthening community and the family structure, it's our cause. And we do work side by side with our clients and our neighbors to make sure that everybody, that's the teens, men and women included, have that opportunity to better themselves and to grow and become productive in our community, but also in our society as a whole. The purpose of our radio show, Dale Ray Raw and Uncut, is to address the issues we face in our communities. It's a radio show that I'm very proud to be a part of, because I got to tell you that I've been there and done that. And today, in my 12th year of sobriety, I want to be that voice that says it's up to us to make the change. And it's up to us to leave a legacy that says that we were here. Thank y'all for joining me today. Our show is about, black men having it hard out here. First of all, I want to say, like all of my other brothers, I want to say to all my brothers out there that, getting a job interview doesn't mean you'll be accepted. And we know that already. And even when the black men get into the door for an interview, it doesn't mean that the most qualified person gets the job. And I got to keep it real, folks, that even if the brother is qualified, he doesn't, a lot of times he don't get a call in return. He doesn't get a return call, and that's not cool. And now we understand why a lot of anger is growing in the black community. And just because we have a black president doesn't mean he is going to be our savior. We know that. And it's so sad, because if we do our history, we see that in the Western world, its cities and its institutions, and even the wealth, is built on black slavery. You name the place and you'll find that its riches were built on the backs of the black man and woman. But yet today it's hard to get a job. Read the newspaper, people. You'll see that we live in and under a elitistic Anglo-American power structure that's racist towards certain ethnicities. And from the moment that a majority of black children are born in this United States, the odds are stacked against them. And I knew that even when I was coming up in grade school. I remember when I was in the 4th grade, I can vividly remember my teacher asking me to read a paragraph on George Washington. And I refused to do that. I told her I wanted to read on, Frederick Douglass. And then she put me in the corner. Our people have been confined to live in ghettos with poor housing. And it's time that we help ourselves. We also have less access to health care and a lower life expectancy. And I got to call it like I see it. And like I said, people, what about our future generation? What will we tell them about fairness? And I also want to be fair and honest to say to black folks everywhere, I don't think everybody is against us. And then there is the white folks who say they only see blacks as criminals. And on the flip side of that, why don't we stop making rap music that says, hey, let's go out and kill police? The problem also lies in that some white folks, they don't, they find it uncomfortable to live in black neighborhoods. What about the media and what they show about black people? So what would you think if you were white and you heard music that says go out and pimp white women or calling your black brother the N-word? It's crazy. And then we get on our brothers and sisters who are intelligent and moving up the corporate ladder. What's wrong with us, man? And then we accuse him of selling out. We need to stop it. Because if he acts educated, then we accuse the brother or sister of being conditioned by the system. And it's like some of us out there want him to fail. It's like we expect him to act ghetto. I don't understand that, do you? And I think we should join together and say that the portrayal of black people would so much be better if we stand together. If we need to get away from rap stuff. That's garbage. It's sending a bad message. It's not doing us any good, and it only perpetuates the negative image that white folks like to use against us. And it's about helping ourselves, people. We shouldn't worry about that slave thing, because although it's been abolished, the entire culture is a slave culture today. It means people of every ethnic group, colors or creed, slave away under this giant debt. We slave away at our jobs, but we also become overworked and depressed and one paycheck from financial disaster. And like I said, I'm going to keep it real on Dale Ray Raw and Uncut. And I try to look at everything from all perspectives. And to put it simply, there are those who are not comfortable seeing black males around. And so they make it difficult than it needs to be. And there are many instances where we are met with hostility. But also in life situations, we have to prove we're not with all that negative stereotype madness. And let me say to my white brothers out there, sir, when you see a brother riding in a nice car, it doesn't mean he's a drug dealer. And not all black men are the same. We are like the rest of you. And of course, some of us are in jails, and some of us are not. Some are making a good life for themselves. And we should all stop being so ignorant. And I want to say to my black brothers out there, no matter what we go through, we'll make it through, man. But we got to stand together. And we already know that being black in this country requires a high responsibility, if we want it or not. And if we can understand that we stand on the shoulders of millions of people who've sacrificed their livelihoods so that we can make something out of ourselves, we should be proud to be black men. And it's about being true to ourselves and, of course, our culture. It's through knowledge and the awareness of our history that we should realize that we are strong. And of course, racism still exists. But remember that there is power in unity. And being black to me means we must keep striving for excellence, no matter what our background is. And as I speak to big audiences, I'm amazed, I'm astonished when I see people kind of retreat when they hear me speak as an intelligent black man. And I got to define who Dale Ray is and not others. I've also learned to expand my definition of who I really am, and it goes beyond culture. And this word race is a term invented by those who want to place limits on people. Listen to me, my brother. We define who we are, what we want, and how to achieve it. Those who rap about calling the sister the B word, you need to stop. And those who talk about killing police, you need to stop it. You need to stand with the real black men out here without violence, without carrying guns. But it's living up to your true potential as a black man. And we must educate the young minds out there and give them the guidance they need to prosper in today's society. You can't mentor these young kids and still talk about selling poison in the neighborhood. And you, my brother, are a hypocrite. Michael Jackson said, "Look at the man in the mirror." And how can you say you respect your elders when you stand in front of their houses selling drugs? You got to put down the guns and go above and beyond in your home, in your neighborhood. And if you only knew that you as a black man was born out of a long line of greatness, then you wouldn't do what you're doing to destroy our communities, man. Yeah, we got it hard, but what do we do with it? And for me to be a black man is simply to live the only life I have. And regardless of obstacles, I must overcome. I'll make it through the storms. And my mom, who raised me, she laid the foundation for my accomplishments. And she taught me how to love my country, this country, America, but to also love myself despite racism. And as I said before, I love everybody, red, brown, yellow, and black. But sometimes we must prepare for the struggle. And it doesn't mean that we'll fail. It just means sometimes we have to kick some doors down in order to achieve greater results. I've always been told that if you want to compete with the white boys, then you have to be twice as good and work twice as hard. And today I am a recovering addict with 12 years clean and sober. And with that clarity, I gotta say, being a black man has become a real responsibility for me. And I take it very serious. I have a responsibility not only to my home, my generation of young black men too. And as an elder, I gotta take this torch that has been passed on to me from those who was here before me. And as black men, we must continue to fight the good fight of faith. We must keep our future from becoming dim. Even with discrimination, we must stand as men as our forefathers did. I don't know about you, but after sleeping on a cardboard box in a dark alley in San Francisco, and 20 years of crack addiction, and also the loss of close family members, I got to tell you that without a doubt, I feel I'm one of God's strongest creatures. I want y'all to stay with me. We got a great show.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Hey, all right, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
I want to thank y'all for joining me on Dale Ray Raw and Uncut. You know, you can go to our website and check out our organization and see what we do, what we stand for. We have core values. We have a mission statement. Hey, we got it going on, and what we want to do is be a part of the solution instead of the problem. And today we're talking about the black man having it hard. And as a black man, sometimes it seems that everybody has a set of chains for you to wear. One group wants to chain you with their fear. Another group wants to chain you with low expectations. Those are the ones who say you ain't going to amount to anything. And then you have that group that want to chain the black man with all the sins and failures. And like I said, I am not a racist because some of my best friends are white. But I got to say to some of those good old boys out there, first, you need to stop projecting your problems on us. Why don't you focus on yourself? And when you do, and if you are honest, you'll see what's going on within your own race. But how can you help us strive? Not all of you, but there is those who seek to cause destruction, and when your own lives have lost meaning. Take a look at Bush. Now answer this. Who has taken the heat for his 8-year rule of destruction and utter incompetence? And I said to everybody before that I was a crack addict for 20 years. And through God's good grace, I've been clean and sober for 12 years. My point is this. I see a lot of white people out there who are strung out on heroin, and they were sleeping under the bridges and begging for quarters. I seen them because I stood next to him doing the same thing. And my point is, how come no one wants to talk about the white brothers being strung out? It's a dual standard. That's what I call it. And regardless of what's going on around us, I got to say to the brothers out there, first of all, it's difficult for any woman to respect any man, any black man who doesn't stand up to his responsibility. And I'm no exception. And as I said before, in the days, I was not a good father to my children. But today, I'm a different person, and I want to stand for what's right. I want to speak to our young black men for a few minutes. You know, sometimes, young man, you got to develop a thick skin in order to rise above the negatives in our society, both from majority and from our own communities. It's more than just standing on corners at 2 a.m. selling that poison. And to other brothers, in order for you to be successful requires you to dream. It requires that you stay focused and not afraid to go out and get it and make it work for you. But we got to be real with each other. We got to be real with ourselves. First, for self-fulfillment to occur. That's what I had to do if I wanted to be drug-free. And guess what? I'm grateful today being clean and sober has provided me strength to say to myself, I think I can make it now. Y'all stay with me. We got a great show.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Hey, all right, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
I want to thank y'all for joining me on Dale Ray Raw and Cut. You know, this is what I do today. You know, our value statement here at Gaining Ground, we work to achieve excellence by advancing a culture of responsibility, accountability, and sustainability as we continuously enhance both the quality of our organization for at-risk teams and the efficiency of our programs. Gaining Ground recognizes the value of teamwork among our at-risk teen population and program providers. And we at Gaining Ground are committed to impacting and engaging our team staff and program providers with meaningful, hands-on opportunities for personal growth. I gotta say, we also need the quality education like everybody else. And most of all, we need policies designed to keep black men out of prison. It's hard being a black man in this day and age. And it's a plus to wake up each day, no matter what's going on. First, to give thanks to God for another chance. And secondly, taking that chance and running with it. Break a cycle, black man. Shake those demons and start taking advantage of the opportunities that's out there. And remember that one cannot fail if he never tries. I got to say to those who think they are better than me because of my blackness, my job is doing gang prevention, taking guns from kids. If I get a chance to, that's what I'll do. But still, we must deal with racism, inequalities of life. Yet I risk my life for those same people. I could lose my life for people who don't even care for me because of the color of my skin. And are you serious? I don't think, it's bad, y'all. And sometimes I get a little emotional about this. Because I don't want society to feel sorry for us, the black men. But the struggles are real. The lack of educational resources, the school curriculum is definitely not on a national level. And we all know that no matter how successful a black man is, his salary would never compare to Caucasians. And that's bad, man. What happened to equality? And also speak to a lot of brothers re-entering back into society after prison or jails. And one thing I've noticed is the stress level for these brothers is very high. And I think it's part of the reason we have high blood pressure, because many of them are also diabetics with heart problems. And when we speak of economics, we are at a disadvantage because of the lack of financial understanding. And I know for a fact that no one has taught our black communities how to save money for a rainy day. We here at Gaining Ground want to do that. We want to be a part of that. That's why we ask for your support. Go to www.gainingground.us. We must teach our people how to invest in securities and exchange, and to show them that their money is for the future. It's what our organization does. But we need sponsors. We need volunteers who specialize in this field. The other day I did a segment about sacrifice. And if you go into my archives and pull it up, you can hear me speaking about sacrificing your time to help someone else. It's important, my friend. Our philosophy is reach one, teach one. And for the young black teens I talk with on a daily basis, they don't see any hope for change. And we got to change the thought pattern if we're going to get everybody on the same page. You see, these young men, they see their only way out of the ghetto is to be an athlete or a rapper or even a drug dealer. And it's the media's fault for just showing black men as predators and our black women on welfare and uneducated. And I want you to look back at the Hurricane Katrina. All we saw was black families suffering. And I got to tell you, if it was in Florida or some other predominantly white population, then the outcome would have been different. And I'll tell you what it means to be a black man, because I get heated right now because it's not fair. And I'm going to keep it 100% real. But it means having to deal with on many fronts and knowing that people are judging you on your success or your failures. It means to try to be strong in the face of many around you, including our families. And yeah, it's a constant pressure to live up to other people's expectations. To all my black brothers out there, be encouraged. And if you want to make it through, then you must start spending time with the right people. I'm talking about the people who love and appreciate you. They are the ones who make you feel alive. Not only do they embrace who you are right now, but they embrace who you want to become. And remember this, it's not your problem that define you, but it's how you react to it. And these problems won't disappear unless we take action. It's what I had to do if I wanted to get clean and sober. I had to take baby steps, inch by inch, because I'm going to tell you that these inches, they count, my brother, and they add up to yards and miles in the long run. And I've been clean today for a while. God is good. You know, there's an old saying, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. And it's the same philosophy that holds true for making changes in your life. Trying to bite off more than you can chew will only make you choke. Go slow. We can make it happen. I'm excited about my life today. But speaking about what's going on with our black men, and as a black man, I think our biggest struggle exists with ourselves, our women and children. Statistics on crime, domestic violence, and of course the number of kids without dads, and document the level of craziness going on in our communities. And the insane thing is that people have accepted this behavior as the nature of black men. It's sad to say that we have become accomplices by closing our eyes to the problem. I'm going to tell you that to be a black man is to also be angry, not at the White House or the government, but we should also be angry at ourselves for letting others dictate our potential. We should also be angry at ourselves for letting others dictate our actions. And let me say that after our upbringing, we have the choice to make something out of ourselves. And forget the 40 acres and a mule, but go out and get an island for yourself. First of all, you got to get the cap tight. You got to get the knowledge, people. And change starts with us. To change our image as a race, while at the same time restructuring the image of the black man. I want to say God bless y'all. Thank y'all for joining me on Dale Ray Raw.